Thanks for staying with us. So a story said many Lagosians were outraged about a story that broke over the weekend about a young man, Dave, that was set ablaze allegedly by hoodlums within the Admiralty area of Lekki in Lagos State. According to Punch, we read that story that he and his two friends, Frank and another person, were on a motorcycle to a destination. And when they got there, there was an argument about 100 naira back and forth. The 100 naira change. The two friends were arguing with the motorcyclists, and then Dave went in and then came outside, saw them, and the fight ensued, and he was beaten up. And then the motorcyclists had called in other people within the neighborhood. They came in to join the fight, where he was then set ablaze. Now, obviously, this happened over the weekend, and many Lagosians were outraged because of the possibility of an incident like this happening in the States that many feel is one of the safest states in this country. And it was quite sad to have this story. Our heart goes out to the family of that young man, but it still talks to so many angles. The issue of community policing, the issue of bystanders, the issue of motorcyclists, Okada riders, and Lagos State, the issue of response into time like that, the issue of jungle justice. You feel that, okay, somebody cheated you and you take laws into your own hand. There's so many layers. We were just talking last week about what happened to Deborah. And we said, oh, this thing happened only in the north. But the truth is that it happens across the country. Yep. These are Nigerians within Lagos State who set another Nigerian ablaze. So the conversation, therefore, as is open, you can call us on 081-270-53687, 091-390-7694. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweet. We hope to have the PPRO of Lagos State Police very soon before the end of the conversation. Tell us here the updates, what they're doing in getting these hoodlums. There were videos also. Did you guys see? I didn't see the video, but I heard that there were videos. Somebody actually recorded what happened and put it online. What are your thoughts on this? Because it's quite disheartening. Anyone want to start?
Okay. So also in Edo State, a young man was beaten for stealing, and he was mobbed and killed also. The video from David's was what was heartbreaking for me. I couldn't watch it. I just read through what the story was about. And he was recorded at the time he was fighting when the Okada riders ganged on him. So this Okada rider who had a fight with his friend called for backup from other Okada riders. And you know their usual practice happens to every car user in Lagos. You know, once something happens between you and them, they just add up, they just multiply on the person. And so that was what happened, and decided to beat him particularly till he passed out. They brought in a tire and poured fuel on him and set him ablaze. In Lagos, you know, what pained me was that all that fracas, all that fighting, everything happened. No response, no police patrol, nothing. Because, you know, if you'd expect that individual Nigerians will come and respond like that, it will be a wild dream. But you'd expect that, you know, a security agent will stop that. Or somebody would have called 727, somebody would have done something, and, you know, before, at least while they're fighting, before it gets to the point where they beat him to pulp, set him ablaze, pour petrol on him, at least even at the point of pouring petrol on him, somebody would have said something, but nothing happened. And so the video of the entire thing is painful to watch. That, you know, this one was not happening. They were fighting and nobody in a state where you'd expect that they have proper response team.
But sometimes I don't know where these people are from. I don't know where these guys are from, because they are young people within this area. But I remember there was a time that my own cousin got stabbed in this kind of situation where he was trying to buy suya, and the suya person stabbed him. And I know the family never remained the same after that, after the death of this of my cousin. And since then, I'm always very careful when I'm in the public, in certain places. When there's a problem, I just walk away. I just have that mentality, because sometimes arguing for something like as low as 100 naira can get you killed in this country. So since that thing that happened, anytime there's an issue, especially when you're in the midst of the public, where you have hoodlums and everything, just walk away, because you never know what's going to happen. But it's sad that in 2022, we're still having to deal with this kind of issues, hoping that we have a government in place to actually protect citizens.
Maria, I think what makes it shocking is we're talking of Admiralty Way. You know Admiralty Way
yes,
now.
now.
So that's how Nigerians would call a tush place, you know, and that it's also a busy road, and you'd expect that there's police presence on that road, that they're just, maybe if they were hoodlums, but that there'll be more sane people in the area to try and, you know, do something about it. So I guess they said 2 of his friends joined or came and found out that he was being beaten, and they beat those ones up too, and those 2 ended up in hospital. So clearly, I'm sure individuals were thinking there's no way I could get involved in this, and the only way would have been to call the police. For me, is how long did this fight take to the point that he was beaten and then burnt before, you know, the police got involved? But the truth is that we're talking about a mindset here. I know that we have to be sensitive and careful, but a lot of the time when we talk about Okada drivers in Lagos State, many people have talked about the fact that they come from the north. And I have said it here before that a lot of these young boys coming from the north are coming from a lot of violence. A lot of them have come from villages that have been ransacked, parents that have been killed. They have seen all they knew. This is what they grew up to know. Yes. And the only thing, they pick up a bike and come and, you know, they're coming to Lagos to earn a living. But they're also coming with emotional trauma and, you know, baggage. And that is why we, you know, when we talked about this, we talked about the fact that the government, the governors need to do something about rehabilitating them. That when you come in, there has to be a registration of some sort, a training of some sort. These people have, for some of them, maybe no proper parental guidance, you know. The only way they know how to address conflict is by even being more violent. So on that note, I feel that when it comes to bike Okadas on the road, they need to be given uniforms, ID cards, given training, all sorts of things before they're on that road. Now, for the victims for just being Nigerian, that mentality of you can just get up and just stab someone or just kill someone. Honestly, I wonder where this is coming from. It's as if there's some spirit, something that has just been blown into the air, and everybody is angry, and they think that the only way that they can handle anything is to take someone's life. You take someone's life, you're not even afraid. You come out in your numbers, you're not afraid that anything would happen to you. But really, I think it's because these people feel that there's nothing they have to lose. There's nothing to lose. I've lost everything I'm coming from. I have only this bike. If anything happens to me, maybe it's even better for me. But the government needs to step in really in just making sure that when people come in to do any form of business within a state, that these people are trained, people are registered.
Let me take this, before I come to you, Tokwe, let me take, I'm told we have the PPRO, Superintendent of Police, Benjamin Hundeyin, Lagos State, the PPRO office. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Good to have you on the show. Could you give us an update on what happened over the weekend? We heard that this young man was allegedly set ablaze by hoodlums on Admiralty in Lagos State, and people are still shocked to hear this story. Could you give us an update? Have any, did it happen, and have any arrests been made so far?
Yes, it's actually happened. It happened on Thursday, not the weekend, actually before the weekend, on Thursday, May 12, 2022. And while this was going on, some residents in that area put a call across to the DPO, and he responded swiftly. He got there with his men, and this crime was actually being committed. And he was able to arrest 4 people on the spot there, people that were directly involved in the sad incident. So the case is, investigation is ongoing, and to ensure that we have a very thorough investigation into this heinous crime, the Commissioner of Police, CP Abiodun Alabi, has directed that the case be transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department, Yaba. So we can assure Lagosians that due diligence will be done. The fleeing culprit will be arrested. A manhunt has started for that. They'll be arrested, and they will all be charged to court to serve as deterrents to other people that might be thinking of doing such a thing.
Okay, so let me just ask a question, because really I wanted to give my opinion. But before I ask the question, let me give my opinion. Number one, David was not a thief. we've had mob killings, lynching happening based on, they caught a thief and chose to carry out jungle justice. This was not jungle justice. This was a 2 fighting, 3 fighting. Sadly, because I was doing my research, I saw a picture of the boy lying down and tire and fire on him. And I just couldn't see anything when the show started because it's just heartbreaking. A young man that is working and there's tire and people took pictures, people did video, they posted it, people drove past. So that for me was really worrisome. Okada riders have been banned on major roads. And I know that Admiralty is one of those roads where Okada riders had been banned. So obviously, it was totally wrong for Okada riders to be there in the first place. Sir, I want to ask you this question because our last guest was saying one of the biggest challenges we have is that we don't implement rules. So we say Okada riders are banned on road, but we don't implement it. So people get away with doing things. Is it true that Okada riders have been banned on that particular road, that they shouldn't have been there in the first place? And how many people have been arrested and what's the timeline for us to expect some form of justice being carried out?
Yes, the law of the state government banning the activities of motorcycle riders in certain parts of the state still subsists. It hasn't been repealed, it hasn't been changed, and we've been implementing them. On a daily basis, these motorcycle riders are arrested, their motorcycles confiscated. On a daily basis, they are handed over to the task force. On a daily basis, these motorcycles are crushed. So we keep doing this, but you're eradicating an existing crime. It doesn't happen overnight. But I can assure you that efforts are being redoubled every day. The Commissioner of Police practically breathes down the neck of his DPOs and area commanders, urging them, encouraging them to do more. So these are things we are doing, and we have not relented, and we'll keep doing them.
So
I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah.
But let's pick Lagos as a case study, because I live where I see your area commands. We see people from the Commissioner of Police Office from Ikeja coming to raid, task force office. At Second Rainbow, there's always a confrontation. And when you feel the pulse of the Okada riders there, they say that, it's a harvest of money from them that, the police usually come to do. So they pick their people, take their Okadas, but they don't intend to deter anybody from operating their Okadas. Just pay and you go. How far, and this is a fact, because, we have an Insolo killing of a confrontation between the police and where a police officer was killed. So how far have you gone to investigate the activities of your officers? And what exactly are you doing to make sure that an end is put, proper enforcement of the ban is done?
Okay, what I know for a fact, what I can ascertain is that we arrest motorcycle operators on that road because they are actually breaking the law, and the law states that we should confiscate their bikes, and we do that. What I cannot confirm is what you are saying now, that all they do is harvest of money. I don't know. It's an allegation. Okay. I'm sure the Commissioner of Police is watching this program and is going to take that up. We'll investigate that part. But like I said, it's confirmed that we arrest these people on a daily basis. I think what I'm going to do to convince Lagosians now is to roll out statistics. How many motorcycles have we arrested in the past months?
Okay.
And what has been done to that? I'll do that. I'll take it up now.
Okay.
Because it is a fact that we do that.
Just a quick follow-up. Would you say that this is a problem that is overwhelming for you, and maybe you need to change strategy? I mean, if you are constantly arresting them daily, and you have statistics to show that you're doing this, and it hasn't stopped, do you think that you need to look into your strategy?
Well, I wouldn't know if it's a matter of strategy. This is a federation. Lagos is not a country. Lagos is a state within a country, and the Constitution permits freedom of movement. So the influx of people into Lagos State, movement in and out of Lagos is very high, higher than any other state. So you can understand that, okay, we do this today, we see it tomorrow, but our strategy is not useless. It's working. It's what we'll continue to use. all we need is to maybe redouble our efforts. But saying that strategy is not working, no, I disagree. It's working. We just need to redouble our efforts. And in a matter of time, these problems should subside.
Mr. Odeyi, what about results? So you know this strategy, the aim of strategy is to have results. Maybe arresting them is not working. Don't you think stopping them and enforcing, you can't go on this lane, you're banned from there, putting your men on ground, who will not take money but turn them back or something, you know, to reduce them. No, I'm just, to reduce their movement, because there's a law now. What about results? You know, this is not productive.
Yeah, I just want to add that it has happened before where they were banned and we saw them banned and they were not anywhere. So it has worked before. So what was done before that it worked and what is happening now that is not working?
That question, what was done before that it worked and now that it's not working? Well, like I said again, your claim that it worked before and it's not working, I don't know if I'm going to agree with that. I want to take it as your very honest opinion. You mean no harm, it's your opinion. But I don't want to agree with that. Our strategies that were put in place have worked, are still working, and will continue to work. All we need to do is review them, redouble our efforts to make sure that our results don't depreciate. They actually remain the same or at best, they actually improve or at best remain the same. So our strategies, like I said earlier, is in place. Okay. We'll redouble our efforts.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Let me let you go at this time, because this is still a matter that we can actually trace back to so many factors. I mean, some would argue that technology can help in this kind of situations, and that could help with local government autonomy we'll be screaming about. Yeah. Because what you talked about earlier of registration, you come into a local government, we know everybody that's coming in. If it's 10 Okada riders at Admiralty, we know there are 10. If it is at Legushi, we know there are, you know, we have a database, we can trace. We have, you know, if we have a local government that is a strong local government within these various communities, maybe we will have this kind of depth.
Policy flip-flop. We had a few very innovative, privately managed solutions to this problem. Companies got funding, private hailing cabs, hailing bikes were brought into Lagos, a lot of them. People started trusting that system as opposed to the local ones on the road. That could have been a viable solution where we would have migrated every form of bike transportation into registered hailing cabs. But a government policy truncated that entire business model, turned us years back. Under Fashola, we had a bike law that was implemented. And there was no bike. It worked. River State doesn't have bikes. It works. Kano. States can stop bikes. Kano stopped it. It used to be everywhere in Kano State. They stopped. I'm saying that we know for a fact that citizens need bikes to move around. Absolutely. And I cannot deny that. I don't use it because of where I am now, but I know what I used to, and I have many staff and family members that use it. So I cannot just say, oh, outright ban. But in regulating, we had a good policy. I cannot cry over what happened in the past, but can we go back? If something worked in the past, let's go back to it.
Okay, we have to wrap up on this. Thank you so much. PPRO, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I mean, these are just thoughts of Nigerians. We can understand the outrage, knowing that this happened.
Innocent man.
And you said
not a criminal. He's not a criminal. Going to work. All right. Not a criminal.
We have to wrap up on this. And we come back to other hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.